magic of the world. So there you go. Bye bye, flying hot dog wings thing. All right, let's see. Let's get some morning time here. It's getting dark out. All right, back to dawn. All right, so let's take a little closer look at mechanism here. You fell. So I talked about well, I talked a little bit about it. So anyway, there's many different types of power generation, and Sisho actually set up this whole system, so he's the expert. But you can see here we've got some solar panels or solar generators. Over here we have a gas burning generator, which if we look in there, it's burning hydrogen in order to make power. And then here we have an electrolytic separator, which takes your water or your H2O and separates it into H and 2 O's. So you get your oxygen and hydrogen out of that. And then we can pipe this into, is this one oxygen? Yeah, that one's oxygen. Well, I can just do it right here just to show. So you can actually take, oh, that's a creative mode plus issue. It pops out. You can actually take the hydrogen out of here or a gas cylinder like that, and then you can charge up your jetpack. Can I do it in here? I actually don't know if I can do it in this one. There it goes. So I can actually charge up my jetpack. This is the mechanism armored jetpack, which I think had an issue where it didn't show armor bars, but we tried it and it actually is providing armor. Let me get out of creative for a moment. Survival, please. So right now, well, yeah, these have actually a lot of armor on them, but let me just take that off. Try putting on the armored jetpack again. Oh yeah, okay, it's fixed. It's showing armor bars now. Good. It wasn't earlier, so that's all good. And then here's an electric pump to get infinite water into the system. Oh, and way up here, do I want to fly that high? Sure, way up here we'll show off the windmills. I think we're going. Yeah, we're going. Wonder if creative is faster or not. Oh, so far up. So I believe these. Oops, I guess I'm not in creative. Come on. What the heck? Oh, I'm not in creative. I'm in survival. No wonder it's doing the thing. Glad I didn't fall to the ground. Yeah. Anyway, these are so far up because I believe they get a bonus. They do more power generation the higher they are. So we've got some windmills up here. Aesthetically, maybe they should be a little further apart, but it looks like they function okay like this. Alright, coming back down. Whee! Hover mode. Oh, not early enough. Changed my jetpack to hover mode. Alright, and then you've got the purifier, the crusher, which is kind of like a pulverizer, enricher, which, I don't know, enriches things with stuff. You've got the smelter, which is pretty obvious. I think you start out the lowest tier and you have like one operation, and then as you upgrade it you get more and more operations available. And the compressor, which seems like the old IC2 compressor maybe a little bit. And as you saw downstairs, there were a bunch of other mechanism machines as well. So, what's next? I think that's like lots and lots of things. Oh, there's Sim. How's the weather up there? Fine. Okay, yeah, I wanted to go over here and show off one other interesting mod, and then we'll probably let Sim show off a couple of different things here. So we didn't get super far in this, but this is called Aura Cascade. Very interesting take on processing and crafting and doing a bunch of stuff. So basically, oh, and you can find some of these in villages as well. So I think what we've got here, we probably found most of it in a village. Anyway, so this is aura nodes, and you can say it says it's only got 2 white aura in it right now. This is an aura pump, and this in particular one is a burning pump. So you got to give it things to burn. And once you give it some things to burn, like let's drop a couple coal on the ground, it'll grab those. Oh, I think it only grabs what it needs at once, and then when that runs out, it'll grab the next one. So now the pump is pumping aura up to this node. Nodes on the same level try to distribute, so it's distributing over to that one, and then aura also tries to fall down, and as it falls down, it makes power. So the aura falls down here, and then the processor and the smelter over here actually kind of absorb that. See the progress, 15 of 60. I don't know if, actually I don't think this one's hooked up right now. I think it's just the processor that's hooked up. So this guy, well, I don't know which one it is, but we can drop down a couple of iron or maybe some gold. And basically what's going to happen is these guys are actually going to process and or smelt this for us based on the power of aura. So there's a bunch of, yeah, there we go. We just got 2 iron dust, I think, or something. Look at that. We'll get it in a second. Whoops, well, I get it now. So I got 2 iron dust, and now it's going off and it's working on the gold piece. It should be. So this is pretty cool stuff. There's a bunch of stuff in this mod about how to time dropping things on the floor and picking them back up once they've changed. You know, I want a hopper to pick up the dust, but I don't want it to pick up the, there it goes, gold dust. But I don't want to pick up the block and all that kind of stuff. So this is a very interesting take on mods, and you do start with a book in your inventory. Do I have that? No. You do start with a book on Aura Cascade in your inventory. So check that out. And one thing I'll mention, I think it says, well, I'm sure it says in the book, but basically the taller this is to some limit, the more power per transfer you get. So, you know, this is just a tiny little kind of test setup, but you would want to make that much taller and whatnot. One more mechanism thing, I guess. I don't know what the heck this thing is, but just to show, there's a lot you can do with mechanism. This is a solar evaporation controller, and these are solar evaporation blocks. So this, I'm going to call it a solar evaporation tower. Sure. Apparently it makes power, I guess, and solar generators, and they plug into it, and there's water coming into it from down here, and there's something about brine I saw, and I guess this is brine. We're getting sodium and something else, and yeah, I don't really know about that one, but there's a lot you can do on the tech tree with mechanism for sure. Alright, I think that's about it. There's nothing else to talk about, is there, Sam? That's just like the whole thing. Is there one? What?
You
What?
sure about that?
What? Did I forget something?
Maybe.
Oh, it's turned off, isn't it? You can't hit me with that big monster sword. What kind of sword is
Oh.
that?
This is from Soul Shards, and
Ooh.
this is very, very important because it starts you on the path to ultimate cosmic power with equivalent exchange.
We do want ultimate power, that's for sure.
Yes. So, yeah, while these guys were playing around with machines and various other bits and pieces, I spent a little bit of time working on equivalent exchange. And equivalent exchange is awesome. It is, without any doubt, ridiculously OP, but it always has been. It's more balanced now than it used to be, but it's still a little nuts. Particularly when you combine something like Soul Shards. Now, for those of you who've never played with the old Soul Shards mod, how it works is you combine glowstone and soul sand, and it makes a vile powder, which you can then use to make various ingots, which are used to make things such as this particular sword. And when you have some soul shards in your inventory and you kill a mob with the sword, that soul shard will get attached to that particular type of mob. And the more mobs you kill of that particular type, the more strength the shard gets, from level 1 all the way up to level 5. So I spent a little bit of time killing blazes in the nether. And the reason that I decided to kill the blazes is that blaze rods are worth a lot of EMC. So once I'd finally gotten to the point where I had a tier 5 blaze spawner, we built this beastie here. But I can't actually get into it at the moment because of this crazy door, so I'll let Anisos tell you about that.
So that's one more of the Melissa's doors. This is a kind of an unconventional one, but this is a force field, and you have a little force field controller, and boom, you can just turn that on and off like so. So it's still here, but it's now disabled, and we can walk right in. Although with the water we may want to fly in. So yep, there's the soul cage, and that's got a tier 5 blaze spawner inside of it, right?
It certainly does. And Tier 5 blaze spawners are controllable by redstone,
Yep.
and they produce a lot of mobs very quickly.
Yeah, a few. All right, let me put the
Um,
force field back
Let
on,
me
I
know when
think.
it's safe.
We're good. Go ahead. Let's just see if this tier 5 blaze spawner is any fun. What do you think? Oh, well, there's a couple. Yeah, well, there's some more. Yeah, there's also more. They're loud too. Look, yeah, okay. So there's a few blazes coming out of that thing. Now I have to turn down hostile mobs so I can actually hear anything else.
They're already silent for me, but then I've spent a lot of time down here for some strange reason, so yes.
All right, so what do we got going on downstairs here? This looks pretty
It's a
cool.
fairly basic setup that we've got down here. We've made some diamond spikes up. That way we get the experience and all of the bonus drops. And there's a fan down the far end which pushes any blazes that fall down down onto the diamond blocks. But doing it this way also means that you can sit here with a sword and manually kill them if you wish. And there's some pretty good advantages to manually killing things. Not only do you get the experience, you get to level your clockwork gear, which we'll talk about a little bit more in a minute, because when you kill things with a clockwork sword that's been empowered, you get temporal nuggets, and they are the highest tier when it comes to clockwork. So yes, this basically just, well, it creates blaze rods, and the
Yeah,
blaze rods get
and
fed down.
it creates blaze rods and sulfur and legendary gears and uh, uh, experience orbs and
Lots of
and all the
experience.
things. All right, and then where does all that go?
Well, it goes down into our system downstairs here, and currently feeds into this oak drawer. Now, unfortunately, you can't automate the transmutation tablet for equivalent exchange yet. But that doesn't really matter, because what you can do is take an inventory full of blaze rods and pop them into the transmutation tablet, and if I had enough I'd show you, but I don't. And you can then make pretty much anything that you want if it already exists within equivalent exchanges directory, I suppose, which is most of the vanilla blocks and anything that you make using vanilla blocks in the crafting recipes. And it also will make things that have been added by other mods, because other mods have the ability to be included into equivalent exchange. So the blaze rods, as I said, they produce massive amounts of EMC, and from there you can essentially make all of the diamonds, all of the ingots, and all of the other delightful things, even nether stars, pretty much for the cost of the setup of the blaze spawner and a little bit of time and effort. So you can make your fancy digital miners and do all things like that, or you have ultimate cosmic power with equivalent exchange.
Yes, EE is ultimate power. It is awesome. And I'm just looking in my inventory. So, like I said, the Aura Cascade actually does have an EMC value now, and the vanilla ores, of course, do. But then if I take a look at like zinc and copper, they don't currently have EMC values. So we can't get zinc and copper out of that table today. But maybe if it's added later, we could.
Yeah, give it time,
Cool
it will come.
stuff.
Yes.
Should we turn that
Now,
off before it goes insane up there?
we probably should, and we probably should talk a little bit about
Yeah.
Clockwork Exchange.
Oh yeah, right. We should get back to
Clockwork
that.
Exchange, Clockwork
All right. We need to
Phase,
do
I
two
should
things.
say.
Or three things. We need to turn that off.
Oh dear.
We need to turn off the dang rain, and we need to make it morning. There we go.
Okay.
And we've got a little bit of an overflow.
Yeah, I've only got 205 levels at the moment, so I'll just suck these up just to top myself up, okay?
Yeah, you pretty much have unlimited levels once you get there. And that's all actually being piped up here into open blocks tanks. So it turns into liquid XP, which then you can use in the auto enchantment table. So I don't need any levels. It just sucks up the XP and makes us books or whatever we want to enchant. Same thing with the auto anvil. I forget what else we were using it for, but yeah. Basically, you have unlimited XP. I guess all the books were moved over here. So yeah, we got lots and lots of books. All right, so let's get back to Clockwork Exchange. Clockwork, not Exchange. Clockwork Phase.
Clockwork Phase, sorry about that. Clockwork Phase. I love this mod. For early game, it's great to get started, and for late game, it makes some absolutely brilliant tools and weapons. The thing is that you initially start off making your gears in Clockwork Phase with the various different metals. But there are special gears that drop from various different mobs. And one of them is the legendary gear, which has very high quality and very high speed. And it also has memory. Now, memory is used in Clockwork Phase to create something called time sand. And time sand allows you to power up your tools. So once you've got some time sand in a tool like the sword or the pickaxe here, you can hit R to empower the device, and it will start ticking down the time sand. But while it's empowered, it will do more damage, or it will mine faster. It will do all sorts of things. So if I turn off the empowerment on my pickaxe, this is made with fully legendary gears, so it's already ridiculously fast, and I can do that. And you'll see the little flares, they show that the time sand's been picked up. If I come over here though to where the coal is, using a normal clockwork tool, it's a little bit slower. It's still very, very fast. However, if I empower this tool, then I can do this.
It just kind of tears through everything at that point, doesn't it?
It insta breaks most
Oh
blocks.
wow, look at that.
And when it comes to mining, you just go down to whatever level you want to mine at, and you just go absolutely nuts.
Go to town.
The sword in temporal mode also does some pretty amazing things. I can't tell you how much damage it does because I haven't had the ability to test it in this mod pack, but it does a lot. It really does hurt. It's not going to kill a Nisos because he's got some pretty decent obsidian armor,
Well,
but it does do a lot of damage. Actually, I can't actually hit you
yeah,
at all at the
unfortunately,
moment anyways.
PvP is disabled on my little test server here. Forgot about that.
But
yeah, it does a lot of damage.
yeah, it'll one hit pretty much every standard mob, and you can quite happily fight something like a wither with it without too much trouble.
Yeah.
Clockwork Phase does expand from here because you can make yourself a timepiece, and that timepiece can get upgrades, which will give you things like Silk Touch on your tools, extra damage, healing, regeneration, but that's when you take the mod to the next level. And that's what this pack's about, really. This pack is about exploring new mods and new things, so we don't really want to show off all of the late game stuff because that's up to you guys.
I do have to play with one thing here. I'm just getting myself an Hourglass of the Wind, a Mainspring, and where'd it go? Clockwork. And I don't think we need time sand for this to work, if I remember right. I hope. We just wind this guy up.
Yeah, for some of the abilities they need time sand. Others are an ability based upon the power of the mainspring.
Right. So I wind this guy up. Let's see if it works. I right click and whee! Yes, folks, we have flight from Clockwork Phase. Oh, and I'm out of
Very,
juice.
very, very fast flight.
It's really good, but you're going to need a better mainspring than that because, yeah, I'm out. Here we go. So you can see, even with creative flight, it takes me a little bit to get back over here. It's depending on how you build the hourglass, what gears you use, what the quality is, what the speed is. It can be pretty awesome, or it can run out as soon as you get 5 seconds away from where you started. So, wow, that's a lot of stuff. What do you think about Horizons? Is this a good pack to play? Is it amazing?
It's definitely a good pack to play around with. It's a good pack to get an idea of some of the things that are coming out, which mods are good, which mods suit your play style, and that sort of thing. So yeah, I definitely reckon it's worth checking out. It's worth having it up. I think as a creative mode mob when you want to do some testing. If you've come across a mod in a pack that you're not familiar with, then Horizons is probably a pretty good place to test it out. Or if you just like playing with mods, then yeah, definitely dive in. We've done the work, and hopefully there aren't going to be too many bugs, but there are a lot of mods here, so there's probably going to be a few that have slipped past. But you should at least have a stable place to play with all the new things.
Absolutely, yeah.
What are you carrying there, Anisos?
I hadn't shown you that. Well, yeah, you never had one of these. This is the atomic disassembler from Mechanism, and it's a powered tool. I guess you already broke all the rock, but yeah, let's just do this. Let's go down. Oh, I'm just going through the base. Whoops, I didn't intend to do that. Yeah, it's not bad
man.
until you. Oh, get out of my face! I can't hit anything with it. That's funny. Alright, let me just break things. Alright, there.
Let me help you.
So then if I want, we can shift right click and go to normal mode, slow mode, or fast mode. And now it's not doing very well for some reason. Huh, maybe they nerfed that a little bit. It was insta-braking before, so I'm not sure what's going on. Yeah, it's not quite insta-braking, but it does have vein mode, so when you find a vein of stuff, oh, it must be bugged. I probably need to get a new one because we changed versions or something. Because it's, oh, you know why it is? It's because I'm in creative. Here, let's just go down here. We had this problem earlier. Let me go to survival mode. Okay, now if I vein mine, it takes it a second, but it doesn't work on that. Let's go back to fast mode at least. Should have tried this before. Yeah, there we go. Now it
more like
insta-mines everything. So yeah, it'll vein mine stuff. I guess it doesn't vein mine some of the modded ores, but it'll definitely vein mine things like this. Boom, they all pop at once, and that doesn't take much power. So Clockwork's definitely a good option. Mechanism's got some cool tools, and I'm sure there's a bunch of others out there too that are very neat. Also,
yeah.
Also, you need to mine more up here, because then I can do the thing where I'm going to do like this. I can't do it here. It's too big. These are very, very large doors that I have in my hand. There it goes. Yay!
Oh no! Oh, not that thing again.
It's the carriage doors. Roar. All right. We just couldn't find a good
door
place.
In existence.
Ugly? Oh, it's a beautiful door. I love it. You make your huge castle and you just put the carriage doors right out on the front, and it's perfect. Alright, well, with that, my friend, I think it's time to leave the folks and say goodbye for this video. Hope it helped you guys get started on Horizons a little bit. There are a ton of mods we haven't even touched, and there's a ton in the mods that I've mentioned. Ton more stuff that we haven't talked about too. So lots and lots of cool stuff to play here. Hope you guys enjoy it. Thanks for joining me, Sim. Woo!
Thanks for having me.
Fireworks. We'll see you next time. Bye.